This is a movie about a lot. It's about justice
Sure.
and the various lenses through which it is interpreted. I think they were making it for TV, and some Warner Brother executive saw it and was like, you know what? Let's slap this in the theaters. And the whole crew was like, because they'd animated it in 4:3 and suddenly it needed to be 16:9.
The executive was a combination of Foghorn Leghorn and Barack Obama.
Say, why don't we slap that into theaters
That's kind of what that
there?
sounded like.
The script is good enough to be like a live-action Batman film.
This
though.
script is very good. The opening of this movie immediately tells you it's gonna slap.
Was that
no,
Latin?
they're actually singing a lot of the music crew's names backwards.
Shut up!
Pans through a beautiful Art Deco, very geometrically sound Gotham City.
To have it be Art Deco.
And in classic kids movie fashion, we open on a money laundering scheme.
Geez, Mr. Saul, I can't tell the difference.
It's a good way to show that the bad guys are bad, but they aren't killing people bad.
Any other Batman kids movie would open on the Joker being like, I'm going to put laughing gas in everybody's homes.
Mark Hamill would like the word.
Through the airwaves. In some ways, I feel like they open on that scene just to reassure adults that they're not in for a childish experience when their kid is like,
that makes sense.
I want to go see the Batman
yeah.
movie. Batman comes crashing through the window. I mean, he beats the tar out of these guys right away. Let me just tell you now, as a connoisseur of the animated series, who has been through it multiple times, these punch sound effects are way punchier than the punches in the show.
This also the scene where he, one of the guys ends up under the table and he steps on the table.
He throws a batarang that just ninja magic knocks a guy's revolver out of his hand, ricochets, and bonks another dude in the temple. Chucky Saul runs across the bridge into the parking garage, and by the fourth shot of this scene, we're introduced to villain or antagonist?
To be honest, I think they're an anti-hero, but we can get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah, anti-hero. I would say that.
We meet the Phantasm, voiced by Stacy Keach.
Your angel of death awaits.
Who is a monster of an actor. Chucky pulls out a gun and shoots, and nothing happens. And in really cool animated visual flair, the gun is sliced in half, and Chucky's like, what do you want from me? He's like, I want you. And Chucky makes his way to his car, tries to drive away.
That sickle arm rocks.
It's so cool. You could argue the Phantasm's not really responsible for this death in a way, because the Phantasm just poofs a bunch of fog out, and Chucky drives through the fog and goes flying out of the parking garage and dies in a very PG but not childish way.
No, I was really surprised because I had forgotten that this movie has more leeway than the show. Like in the TV show, they go out of their way to be like, literally no one ever dies, even if they 100% should.
And Batman comes upon the scene and people see Batman and they're like, hey, look, they're gonna automatically associate him with the death. And Batman thinks he sees the Phantasm, runs, and they're gone. Then we cut to a movie-only character named Arthur Reeves, who's doing a press conference, and he's like, Batman is clearly involved with the murders. He's a madman. What kind of a city are we running here? He's younger. He's brash. Gordon goes to bat for Batman in front of the press.
I'm sorry, Councilman, but you can't blame Batman for what happened to Chucky Saul.
And then we do a fun little transition where we transfer to this being televised in the Batcave and Alfred turning it off and hitting Batman with a killer one-liner.
Why, you're the very model of sanity. By the way, I've pressed your tights and put away your exploding gas balls.
So good. I literally wrote that line because when he said it was so good.
And so this is Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who did a lot of work with the Trinity Broadcast Network.
By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Then we jump up to the sky, where a woman is flying into Gotham, who is also a movie original, not in the series. A redhead, that's trouble.
And that's what I said. I said red hair, and then I went, ooh, red lipstick, ooh, red heels. It was like, we get it, guys. She's trouble. And I wore red lipstick in honor of her and every other woman in the Batman animated series, because they all wear red lipstick, even when they're sleeping, as my oldest pointed out.
This is Andrea Beaumont. She's flying in and talking to Councilman Arthur Reeves on the phone, and he's like, thinking of looking up some old flames while you're in town? And she's got a magazine with Bruce's face on it, and she's like, no, that's ancient history. And he's like, oh, enchanté. So.
He does not talk like that, but he is obnoxious.
Then we cut to what seems to be an indiscriminate party being held at Wayne Manor. I don't know what this party's for. It's just a rich person party?
Also, body diversity spotted in this one scene was the only time that I saw a woman over a size 4. She's in the background. It's like blink and you'll miss it, but I caught it, baby.
I'm assuming this is a keeping up appearances party.
Yeah.
A way for Bruce to just keep fitting in with the rich.
And make sure he flirts with ladies and is very available.
This is something I want to know. Is he enjoying it or is he putting on a show?
I think
he's enjoying it.
Yes. I think both. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to hate being a billionaire playboy that everyone thinks is hot and the ladies are into you.
Yeah. They're telling him like, oh, don't bring up the M word, marriage.
The I word?
Engagement.
Okay, we get it. She's dumb. We get it. The bigger the boobs, the smaller the brain.
And then a lady comes up and throws wine in his face, and that woman actually is in an episode of the show. He goes off, finds Arthur. They have a little bit of a verbal spar, because the first thing Bruce asks Arthur at the rich soiree is, how goes the bat bashing? Which tells you that's just what he's known for. In a move that, in retrospect, is really quite skeezy, he goes into the moody room that I guess he didn't install lights in. No lights, just by the light of the moon, walks up to a picture of his parents and starts reminiscing of lovers past.
Of course he does. Like you do when you're looking at pictures of your parents. All right.
Well, it's because he was at their grave when he met her.
Yeah.
So
that's true. We do find that out, so it does connect. But in the moment, it was like, all right.
You're like, huh?
Okay.
We flash back to a younger Bruce Wayne hanging out at his parents' grave, solemnly staring at it, having a silent dialogue, I suppose. And he hears a voice, the voice of a woman. I must follow. So he follows. He comes upon a woman named Andrea Beaumont speaking with her mother, who tells him that she kind of feels like she can hear her talking back if she talks out loud. It's very sweet. She knows who he is. Her eyes are blue, sky blue. She asks him what he was talking to his parents about, and he says he made a vow. And she asks, did you keep it? And he says, kind of switching to his Batman voice, so far. So this movie then cuts to the next scene and pulls a Batman Begins before Batman Begins began, where he puts on the robber fit for like his first night out as a vigilante.
Yeah, I said out loud, the classic my first stab at a costume.
Yep.
Because all of the superheroes have the first costume that they're pulled together, and it's always like, oh, wow.
Yep.
That's
so his first outing as a hero, he puts on the robber fit, and is even, he's kind of a goofy goober. Like, when he jumps into the scene, he goes... He fights the robbers pretty effectively, and it becomes a highway chase on the back of a truck, where in a fun little moment, the person who sees him hanging off the back of the truck is a younger and lower-ranked Harvey Bullock. Batman has won this fight, but nobody was afraid of him. They were like,
Who is this nutball?
I get it.
Bruce starts trying to really hone in on what he has to do to strike fear on sight into the hearts of criminals. Then Andrea just shows up at the house. Just shows up.
Yep.
She said she was expecting a call from him because any man with blood running through his veins should call her. She pretty much shows up at the house and was like, we met and I'm super hot. Why didn't you call me?
Listen, her swag is impeccable.
Not only does she show up unannounced, Alfred just takes her to him.
Mm-hmm. Alfred, she shows up, Alfred gives her a once over and goes, yeah.
Yeah. not a threat. Turns out she kind of is a threat. Bruce is practicing jujitsu in the backyard, and he's like, this is no joke. I'm really practicing. I'm honing my skills. It's jujitsu. And then she just picks him up and throws him on the ground, and she's like, Stacy's self-defense class for girls.
So good.
It's
so
great.
Good.
The crew... There are some strange things regarding some of the creative choices with women over the course of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed their back and forth dynamic in this scene. And so he sweeps the leg and pins her down on the ground, and she's like, smooth move, wanna bang?
It's basically, I think, what did I write? Dang, should my kids be watching this? Yeah. But we did.
I mean, what a world. You meet a woman at the cemetery. She comes to you when you don't call. You spar in the backyard, and then you sleep together.
That's just life, right? Like, that's just real.
Every man goes through that.
That's how Tom and I got together.
Beat him up.
So, yes. And he was like, all right.
Next up is our next darkly lit scene at a cemetery where our next mobster, Bronsky or Bromsky? I don't know if it's an M or an
I couldn't tell. I'd have to look it up. Hey, hang on. Let me check the script. Night guard I can't remember what the night guard looks like. The one that's tied up on the floor during the... Is she black in the final product? Because the script specifically says an African-American female night guard is tied up in the ground, mouth taped, watching helplessly. I hate that entire sentence.
The one where he's wearing the rubber fit?
Yes.
That guard's a dude. I don't think he's black.
Okay. It's just fascinating because the script calls for an African-American female night guard and then goes on to explain how she's tied up and helpless, and I hate it.
They go to the cemetery to, quote-unquote, pay their respects to Chucky Saul, and
such a good,
he goes up to the grave, just chucks a wreath at it. Phantasm shows up, and the guy's first name, I guess, is Buzz, so the Phantasm's now like, Buzz, your angel of death awaits. Again, the Phantasm slashes the one weapon that the mobster can find, and Buzz runs through the cemetery and falls in an open grave. This one is murder. This one is direct murder.
This one was pretty brutal, too. I actually think this was more so than the first one.
Yeah, the Phantasm shoves the tombstone, which is a massive angel, taller than your average human, made of stone, on top of Buzz Bromsky and crushes him. They see the Phantasm in the distance, but the cape makes them think it's Batman. And again, kids movie.
It's the stinking bat!
It's that gosh darn golly gee Batman.
Next up, we meet mobster number 3, Sal Valestra, who sees in the paper that a second mobster connected to him has been murdered. So he starts huffing and wheezing and gets to his oxygen tank to get some semblance of normal breathing back. He has a total panic attack. Then we get the rest of Commissioner Gordon in this movie. Bob Hastings turning in a fantastic 20-second performance.
Is this the scene? There's a scene, it's either this one or earlier, where Alfred uses breath spray, and it's so creepy. And I don't know why using breath spray isn't immediately like a man being like, no.
Batman goes to investigate the scene, and while he's there, he hears someone talking at the grave again. And it's Andrea. Being at the cemetery, he pops over to his parents' grave real quick, and he goes to her, and she sees him as Batman and follows where he was, and sees that where he was at Martha and Thomas Wayne's grave. And so she does a quick little bit of maths. She does some girl math and is like, oh my God, dinner time. She's out on is this a date to her?
That was really hard to tell how much she was stringing him along as part of like her overall vibe.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it later, but she definitely is.
Oh yeah, for sure. So in that case, I would assume yes.
Because at several points, she's like, huh, what? Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Batman follows her to the date, and we see the shot is really funny because we see the camera on him, and the camera zooms out, like, it's going to zoom out to show that he's spying on them. And you think it's going to zoom out really far. It doesn't. He's not very well hidden. His eyes are very glowy in this scene as his binoculars hone in on his hand on her hand, and he flashes back again to a date, the Gotham City equivalent of a World's Fair, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Where
and that memory shot is the first of many shots that lingers on Bruce Wayne / Batman's butt.
Thank God. They go to the fair, and the theme for the fair also slaps. I don't know who was drinking what when they came up with this music, but the theme for the fair is awesome. Batman sees a car there that is clearly going to become like a prototype design for his Batmobile. Andrea asks him, do you think we'll live to ever see any of this future? For people who watch Batman Beyond, the answer is yes, you'll see the future. No, it won't look like that. The Phantasm does the Phantasm does have one final key appearance that is important to Terry McGinnis, the Batman of the future.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Two children strangling each other in the background of that scene.
Are there?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Incredible.
So she's like, hey, Dad wants to meet you, which is such a bait. This is such a bait move. Mm-hmm. Big brain move. She's like, hey, Dad wants to meet you. That's not intimidating, is it? And he's like, no, of course not. She's like, great, come on down. Bruce goes with Andrea and meets Carl, and in the office is also Arthur. A bunch of gangsters come into the room, and it kind of ushers Bruce and Andrea to leave, and as they leave, we see a nameless mobster who's just kind of chilling with the vehicle outside. Valestra has an appointment with Carl and comes in, and as they're leaving, the car driver's kind of eyeing Bruce. The next scene is there's a jeweler under a bridge, as jewelers are, being robbed by a group of thugs. And Bruce fights them, again, in a way only animation could get away with, jumping off the front of motorcycles with crazy punches. But he loses this fight. Like, he gets his ribs bashed with a baseball bat so hard the bat breaks. It hits him that he won his first fight when Andrea wasn't there, but loses when she was there. And that could be a problem in the long term. So he's pretty angry with himself. And so he goes home, and when she calls him, he has a complete existential crisis. He's smashing the walls. Alfred's like, what do you want me to do with this call? And he gives this great read of, I just don't know.
I just don't know.
Kevin Conroy does such a good job with these 4 to 5 word lines that really say a paragraph. And it cuts to one of the best scenes in the movie, dark and thunder and lightning at the rain, and he's at his parents' grave crying and asking for mercy. He's turned his parents into something I think they are not. He has turned them into these specters that expect him to get vengeance for their deaths, being like, I can't keep the promise I made you, please forgive me, when really they'd probably be like, live your life, be happy, do good things. And he gives one of the best lines of the movie.
I didn't count on being happy.
One of the best lines.
That was such a Batman line too.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's so sure. Batman.
And so Andrea finds him, and she's like, hey, maybe your parents sent me so that you'd actually live the life they wanted you to live. Sal Valestra picks up Arthur Reeves. So worlds are crossing in ways where the kids are like, that's weird, and the adults are like, oh, Batman never leaned on us before. What is going on? Why is Batman killing our people? And Arthur's like, I don't know, but you're a gross person. You're coughing, huffing, puffing. I don't want any part of this and getting out of the car. Batman's doing his research. He's making the links between the gangsters, and as he's leaving, Alfred's like, so you're going to see Andrea, are you? And Bruce is not happy. Bruce does not like how easily his father figure can read him. He's like, you think you know everything about me, huh? And Alfred gives another killer one-liner.
You think you know everything about me, don't you?
I dive at your bottom. I bloody well ought to.
And he finds all these pictures on the wall. One of them is the mayor with Sal Valestra. It's Mayor Hill.
Yeah, that seems like that's not very hidden.
Yeah, I mean, they don't talk about it in this, but for people watching the show, they're like, oh my God, it runs so deep. He takes the group picture with him, but while he's looking at them, he flashes back again. He flashes back to when he, rather poorly, but in his own way and flavor, proposes to Andrea, and she says yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, if a billionaire proposed to me that way, I think I'd be a little underwhelmed.
After she says yes, they are interrupted by the omen of bats coming from a crack in the ground next to them.
That was a bit on the nose.
Cut again to Bruce bringing Andrea home. He drops her off. As she's walking in, that guy who's always outside watching the car, he sees her going and does one of those like one of those cat purrs to her. And as Bruce is driving away, I don't know how he does it, he flicks his cigarette at a moving vehicle and nails it. Absolutely nails the shot. Next day, Bruce is underground. Alfred is waiting for him above ground, and he's like, it's another cave down here, all right, that the bats all came out of. He comes up, sees Alfred. Alfred's looking pretty bummed out. He's like, hey, Alfred, what's wrong? And he's like, this just stopped by, and it's the engagement ring. And in it is a letter that says, too young, need time, forget about me. Then we fade into one of the most iconic scenes in this entire animated universe, as it fades in on the frame of his parents and then cuts to him standing cliffside underground as his silhouette puts on the cape and cowl for the first time. And Alfred's standing there, like, eyebrow quirked, like, what are we doing here?
So good.
And he puts his hand out to get the mask, puts it on, and in the dark, Alfred sees the whites of the eyes, and it frightens him. Boy, you could interpret a litany of reasons for the look on Alfred's face for this. I think it was according to Paul Dini. Alfred's horror is that this is the moment Bruce has totally given in and realizes that that he's committed to doing this. Some people look at it and they're like, they see this as like the birth of a new person, and it's not Bruce. Like Alfred's just meeting a total new person, and it horrifies him.
As you were talking about all the different ways to translate the look on Alfred's face, and then he says, my God, and he does, like, you know, this really heavy, deep, my God. And my boys read it as, like, probably what it's supposed to be, which is, like, this, look at this transformation, look at who you've become, look at who you're going to be, you're really serious about this, seeing the kid he changed whose diapers he changed turned into, the, you know, all of that, whereas I just really wanted him to end the sentence by saying, you need therapy. Because that to me was like the moment where you look at your friend and go, and now you're putting on a cape and a hood with that? Okay. Wow.
And
hey.
Animated series veterans will know he's had it. Dr. Leslie Tompkins knows who he is and is very keenly aware of the transformation of Bruce to Batman. Flashback ends, Batman takes the picture with him, and we cut to Sal Balestra going to the World's Fair, which is now very, very run down. And he says to himself, if only there was some other way. All the animatronics start up, and the song starts going off. Welcome to the future. And all of a sudden, all the robots just get shot with a machine gun.
It's beautiful.
And Sal looks up, and from the shadows with a Tommy gun comes the Joker. The relationship is really ambiguous. Even watching this scene, I had a hard time telling if Sal knew who Joker was before, or if he went to the Joker because he knew he had to go to someone nuts to try to get away from Batman murdering these mobsters.
Point.
They start to talk, and Joker's like, oh, wouldn't it be great if Batman's actually killing all these mobsters because I drove him off the deep end, like I made him cross the line. And Sal's like, you're a lunatic. He could come for you too. Another reason you're kind of inclined to think maybe Sal does know who the Joker used to be is because Sal grabs Joker by the vest and says, you know what I'm talking about. Your hands are just as dirty as mine, or dirtier.
I was going to say, then I think the answer is both. Because if he does know who the Joker was, that's fine. But if he knew who the Joker was and the Joker was just gangster number 3, I don't think he would have gone to him. I do think what Ben said is accurate, that it just also so happens to be the secondary card I can play for my objective is, and also you were one of us, so you know. But he knows the Joker's the only one crazy enough to potentially die trying to take Batman's life.
He gives Sal a little bit of reassurance, and he's like, I'll help you out, Sal. He gives a great line read of,
that's it. That's what I want to see. A nice big smile.
Arthur takes Andrea home, and Andrea sees that her window is open, so she's pretty sure Bruce is going to be in the room / Batman's going to be in the room. In a move that really felt dedicated to getting in his head, makes out with Arthur knowing Bruce is in the room. She basically says, I know who you are, without saying I know who you are.
It's great. She's great.
He starts questioning her. This is your dad. Do you know these people? He said something about her dad, and she just goes, the way I see it, the only person being controlled by his parents in the room is you.
Yeah. And I saw that line coming, but still, when she actually said it, I was like, thank you very much.
But, I mean, without saying anything, we also find out that's not true. It's not entirely
Yeah,
true.
No, that's true. No, that's true. No, she's right. You're right. But she's also right. That's what I meant to say.
She's right that he's being controlled by his parents, but she's wrong in that he's the only one being controlled.
Right. But we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm very pro Andrea.
After she tells him off, he leans, and she has like this moment of kind of mourning. She has a moment, I think, of kind of mourning what she lost with Bruce.
The way they animated it was a bit much for me.
Yeah,
having
very,
her like
very
deliberately throw the glass on the ground. I literally wrote drop. Yeah, I wrote Yeah, not throw. Throw would have been even better. It was like her hand forgot how to work.
Yeah.
And I literally just wrote the glass drop was a bit much. I'd cry too if I was supposed to marry a billionaire and then didn't.
FYI, this is Dana Delaney, who goes on to voice Lois Lane in the animated Superman show.
I'm sitting on the hottest story of the year, Batman, unmasked, and there's not a blessed thing I can do about it.
Then you really do love me.
I'll get some iodine for that scrape. Burning, stinging iodine.
Next scene we cut to is absolute nightmare fuel for kids and adults. The Phantasm comes into Sal Valestra's house, and he's chilling out, maxing, relaxing on his kingly fireplace chair, reading the paper.
So good, though.
And the Phantasm comes in, pulls the newspaper down. He's dead. He's dead.
Super dead.
With, like, Joker venom that contorts the muscles in a way that force you to smile. Eyes are yellowed. His pupils
He laughed himself to death.
His pupils are pinpointed. And he's got like a camera mounted onto his chest. Onto or into? I don't know.
I think onto.
And we hear the Joker's voice come through the camera being like, "Oh, you are not Batman after all. But hey, you know, it's all good. Your name will be all over town, aka you'll be in pieces." And the Phantasm realizes what's about to happen and dives out of the house.
I understand that Sal Valestra felt that he had very few options with him and all his buddies getting killed off, but his decision to go see the Joker by himself was a choice. That was so... What a stupid move.
Well,
like, I don't know. I thought that was so interesting.
But if Sal knows who the Joker was, then he knows that the Joker's gotta be on that list of people that the Phantasm would eventually come after.
Right, but his mistake was in thinking that the Joker's sense of self-preservation would stop him from any unhinged machinations. It just feels like, do you understand who the Joker is right now? Because, I don't know. Anyway, that was really interesting. And I really like the portrayal of the Joker in this movie and in the animated series. To me, he's the perfect balance of genuinely evil and unhinged, and like you don't go see him by yourself, but also you can't help but have fun when he's having fun and laugh at his stupid jokes. And I'm having a lot more fun with the character than when I first watched this a bajillion years ago, for sure.
Batman sees the Phantasm, flies his own plane through the city at low altitude.
Yep, no problems.
Jumps off the wing of the plane and lands on the Phantasm in a move that should break everybody's bones. Everybody involved.
All the bones.
And the Phantasm is trying to be like, hey, leave me be. This is not your fight. Phantasm, in their brief encounter, proves to be a pretty formidable foe. And as the cops close in, the Phantasm shoots out some fog and disappears. But the cops still think Batman's involved in these murders. They don't know really anything about the Phantasm, so the cops are on the hunt for Batman, and he's being chased by Copter, and he's being chased on the ground. They have his plane, so that's not an escape route. And he takes refuge at a construction site.
Freeze!
He swings into a construction site.
Well, he lands on the construction site, and Bullock says they give the okay to use deadly force, which kind of blew my mind. Yeah, it totally is, but I was like, you're going to use deadly force on Batman?
Well, for one, they think Batman
him.
Killed 3 mobsters.
Right, but you don't...
Which is totally his MO.
Yeah.
Right,
also,
yeah, exactly. You want to take him in for questioning. Good God. Yeah. When the cops do go gung-ho and open fire in the dark on an active construction site.
Batman's bleeding out the mouth, bleeding out the side of his head. He's got blood on his fingers.
The blood coming out of his mouth surprised me a little bit.
So the helicopter finds him, and even though they got a huge spotlight on him, they somehow missed. Seemingly, he shoots his grapple hook at the helicopter, and they all focus on his body coming toward the helicopter. They light up the sky so much that his cape is tattered before it makes it to the helicopter. And he tied like a barricade to his cape and cowl and got away without his mask. So they're chasing him through the construction site. And as he's running, Andrea's car shows up. This is when, like, you know, the guy's just dropped. She knows who he is. She doesn't. It's the first time that it's outward. Like, she picks him up, and Bullock's pretty pissed. And they're back at Bruce's house. Well, it was on TV. I had to be there. She's a Southern belle now.
That's not a Southern accent, Tim.
I just had to be there.
There you go. You were doing an English accent and calling it a Southern belle.
I saw it all over the TV.
I need to also say, I believe at the beginning of this scene is another shot that starts on Batman's butt and then zooms slowly out. Incredible.
She's like, I say, it was all over TV. I had to do something. So I showed up and rescued you. And
he was like, take me now.
Yeah. I say, let's right this moment.
Of course, Alfred has to interrupt again and be like, oh, whoops.
Oh, I say.
I like the callback with Alfred. With Alfred interrupting them again. I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it's the second time Alfred walks in the room and he's like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go. Sorry, it's the second time I came into your life and the second time I screwed it up. And he grabs her arm and they don't say anything else. They just start making out. There is kind of a flashback before they start making out where it shows the aftermath of the night that Bruce met Carl, her father. They're like, you owe us a bunch of money, Carl. And he's like, I can get it for you. 24 hours. Just give me another day. And they're like, we'll give you 24 hours. And they leave the house. And he's like, we got to leave. The money is there, but it's tied up in a bunch of investments. It'll take weeks for it to get free. So we got to flee the country. So that's why she gave the ring back, is because she ran away with her father. So they flee the country, and she tells him, you know, it would never be enough. They got their money back. He did pay them back, but it would never be enough, so we had to stay on the run. Batman's like, it's your dad. Your dad is the one taking revenge because they never stopped chasing the two of you. And it's off screen, but you know they had sex because the next morning he's wearing the pajama pants and she's wearing the pajama tops.
Yes, it's the classic tell. It's so good. When the screen, like when the blackout, for whatever better word, happened, I was like, I swear to God, if the lights come back up and they are not each wearing half of the same pair of pajamas. And they were. Good for Batman. He's never happy. Give him something.
Yeah, sex is hard to come by for Bruce.
Well,
I mean, this iteration of Batman, Bruce is the mask, is the ideology they went with. While Bruce is having sex with these beautiful supermodels, to Batman, he's not. He's just playing the part.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. And we
while
need to
it's
respect
happening,
that.
He's like, I'm not even doing it. I'm not even here right now.
That would be
like
so
American
upsetting.
Psycho.
As his partner, you're like, are you staring off into the distance over my...
He's like planning
What's
out
happening?
which rooftops to hit tonight. Huh? What?
They get more
I swear to
batteries.
God, I don't even know why I tried. I don't even know why I tried.
I don't know why I'm here.
I'm going home.
So Alfred's like, well, what does this mean for Batman? And he's like, I don't know. And then in what I might call one of the most dubious plot points of the movie, one that requires a bit of grace and suspension of disbelief, is when Bruce picks up the group picture, IDs,
so good.
IDs the guy who
so
remembers driving the car outside and grabs a red coloring pencil, draws on it a smiley face on him, and realizes it's the Joker.
That part, when he picked up the pen, and as soon as my oldest saw that the pen was red, he just started going, no.
Say what you will about taking the Lord's name in vain, my oh my. That should have been an oh my God moment.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
and also,
oh
just
no, was
the
a
way
little
he
white,
draws.
but he read it
the-
well.
the-
He goes,
the-
oh
just-
no. The next two scenes people don't talk about. I think these are two of the best scenes in the movie. Next scene, Arthur's on the phone yelling. There were 4 precincts on Batman's back, and he still got away. He's pissed. And he hangs up the phone like, what am I going to do with these people? And Joker just comes in, makes a crack about how taxpayer money's clearly going to waste on this inept police force.
And to think how tax money goes to pay those jerks.
A bit of saying things without saying things. Arthur's like, you're not a friend of mine. And Joker's like, You forgot about me? Don't you remember me? You, Sally, and the gang. Joker's telling him who he is. He like pretty much outright.
As soon as he said that, I was like, oh, he doesn't mean to let him live because he's let such a huge piece of lore drop. But the guy didn't even...
There is one piece of Arthur media outside of this. He doesn't survive it.
Listen, uses breath spray. I don't care if he dies.
True. I'm trying to figure out who iced the old gang. While they're talking about this, Andrea calls him. And Joker makes him put it on speakerphone. And he's like, fancy that? Like, pretty funny that happened, huh? Makes you want to laugh, doesn't it, Artie? And he puts him up on the desk, and you see, like, their shadows, and Joker's doing something to him, and you don't know what, and they, like, impose Joker's laughing face over the shadows. It's like, animation can get away with it, and it's so beautiful, and you try it in live action, and you're like, ugh.
It's a good creepy moment.
And it cuts to a scene in the hospital. He cannot stop laughing. Joker put whatever Joker toxin or venom into his body. He cannot stop laughing. The doctors can't get him under control. They put a shot in his arm to try to get him to calm down, go to sleep. The toxin seems to not be a deadly toxin, but it needs to run its course, and he's going to have the giggles the whole time. So they finally get the lights out, get him calm. As he's like about to try to close his eyes, Batman's shadow comes in. The door opens and Batman's there. I don't know what Andrea Romano did. I don't know how she directed this guy. I don't know what she told him to get this performance out of him. And I don't know if I'm going to say his name right. Hart Bochner, Bochner.
His performance sounds very much based in the diaphragm and like in the anchored places that you would use if you were singing. As opposed to in his throat, because I think a lot of untrained or lesser trained vocal artists would, if you go for strained and choking, they think throat, but that's not actually, it should actually be coming from down here in your diaphragm where you can kind of like control the different kinds of, you know what I mean? Like just from your, and so that's what it sounded like he was doing to me. It made me actually curious if he was a singer, but a trained vocal actor would also know how to manipulate the diaphragm. And so that's part of why it's so haunting, because it's literally coming from his core and not just his articulator.
The big scenes in this movie people always look at are like the Joker's big laugh at the end and Batman cape and cowling up for the first time.
Which is also great.
For me, this scene is alongside them. I know in terms of lore it's not long lasting. This isn't Batman and the Joker.
It made me wonder if that was the scene that he auditioned with.
The way they animate, like their mouths are red in the dark, it's really creepy. In this scene, basically what Batman gets out of Arthur Reeves is that he kept in touch with Carl while Carl was on the run.
He seems slimy right from the get-go.
Oh,
yeah, and then he uses the breath spray, and then he
Batman goes from there back to find Andrea, and the phone rings, and Batman picks it up, and it's the Joker. And he jokes about how you never write and you never call, but I'm sending you a special gift through the airmail. And it's a bomb, so Batman ninja stars it, and I guess it explodes. I don't know, that makes it explode. We're at the climax of the movie, and the guise is being dropped, but very, very meticulously. We see Andrea standing, looking at the World's Fair, and we know it's her, but, like, it's weird. The shot is off. Something's wrong. Flashback to Andrea coming home to where they've run away to on the run, and that gangster, who is apparently the Joker, coming out of the house, and she's like, "What are you doing here? We paid you." She goes inside, and we just hear her scream.
That scream is pretty good work, too. Anything not as nuanced or lesser or whatever, you would have been like, was he knocked out? Did they cut off his fingers? Like, what? But you know.
The Phantasm arrives at the World's Fair and says, "Joker, your angel of death awaits." And Joker says,
"I'm impressed, lady. You're harder to kill than a cockroach on steroids."
So you figured it out.
And it's a decent enough ruse because we see the Phantasm before we see Andrea flying into town on a plane. But
that was the thing that made me, yes.
It's off the record once as Phantasm to start the chain of murders, and on the record once so that it would be easy to pass the murders off as being her father.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, it's a decent plan. The look on her face is 1,000-yard stare in this fight. She is here to kill him. I was a little worried that now that we knew she was a woman, she would fight in very, like, animated girly fashion. Like, he's holding her down on the floor by the wrists and stuff, and she's like, "F you," and knees him in the balls.
It's beautiful.
In a really funny visual gag, she pins him to the table and is beating his face ruthlessly back and forth. And his hand goes and reaches for a weapon, and there's a cleaver and a slab of bologna. And when it cuts back to him and her, he smacks her in the head with the bologna.
I literally wrote that down. I wrote, he really grabbed the bologna and not the meat cleaver. Incredible.
Did he know the cleaver was there or not? I don't know.
I think so. Oh, I think so. I think he did it on purpose. I loved it.
She comes out, and he turns on a big, like, jet engine to suck her into a fan. And
yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Rides his motorcycle so fast that the air that should be sucking his cape in front of his face is now behind. Like, his cape is behind him. So his motorcycle must be capable of some crazy speeds for that kind of opposite force to be in effect. Hits a ramp, throws the motorcycle into the jet engine, breaks it, and they fall to the ground unharmed. And Joker says, basically told her, like, I've put it all together. I know why you're here. You were going to pass it off as being on your dad. Dana Delaney delivers a great monologue about how they stole everything from us. Like, look at what we could have had. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's sane, but it's all I've got. And he's like, but Andy, what will vengeance solve? And again, she just says, hey, if anyone knows that, it's you. So she shoots out some fog, disappears, and Batman is just chasing the Joker. This feels very episode-y. This feels like it was just kind of like more like an episodic confrontation than like a movie confrontation.
Yeah, I agree.
He is led into a room with a model of a city. And Batman and Joker fight in there pretty brutally. Batman kicks Joker in the jaw so hard a tooth comes out and his mouth's bleeding, his nose is bleeding.
That was sweet.
Joker pushes a button and a bunch of planes come in and start like slicing at Batman with their blades. I laughed a little bit when Batman's in this. Batman uses his cape in combat, takes it off his back, wraps the planes up, smashes them all on the ground in one go, and puts his cape back on, cool as a cucumber. And Joker, being someone whose ego is too big to not reveal his plan, because part of the joke is knowing you're going to die and being helpless to stop it, is he tells him that the entire underground is rigged with explosives and they're going off in 5 minutes. Batman chases him, and in the most episode-y part of this movie, Joker's putting on a jetpack to get away.
Because of course he is.
So Batman jumps onto the jetpack, and Joker's like, you're gonna kill us both. And Batman's like, bet. Pulls him back down to Earth, where Andrea is waiting. All the bombs go off around them, and Joker gives a laugh for the ages. This clip is circulated all over the place. It's one of Mark Hamill's best Joker laughs. Andrea takes the Joker and disappears from the fair, saying, like, goodbye, my love, which probably should have told Joker who Batman was even back then. Like, do some quick maths. Like, Joker saw they were dating.
I thought that was interesting.
No way he didn't know who that was. And the bombs cause the ground under Batman to give out, and the sewer pipes sweep him out. And we come back to the Batcave, where we see Alfred be the father figure for Bruce that we know he actually is when the time for one-liners is gone, and basically tells him, I am afraid every night of you crossing the line and going into that pit of becoming the thing you fight against. But Andrea went into that pit years ago, and nobody could have taken her out of it. That includes you. Batman finds a locket in the cave she left behind. She had a locket with a picture of the two of them, and I think that was her way of saying we need to be done this time. Cut to a ship where a guy comes out smoothing his hair, and he's like, He was actually supposed to be a more important character in this movie, but his part was pretty much cut. Just down to this. And you figure, you see this guy in his party hat on the cruise, smoothing his hair, being like, I am going to try to get with this chick. Well, he is not in. He picks up on her social cues, and because he can tell something's clearly on her mind, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to be alone? And she says, yeah, I am, in the last spoken words of the movie. And we cut to how most Batman movies must end, with the return to action being put out for Batman as the choir begins, and the signal lights up the sky, and Shirley Walker orchestrates everything beautifully as the music goes and the snare drums go. And with different sound effects than the usual show, badass sound effect, he shoots the grapple out, swings into the night as his blue cape turns black in one frame because this is animation and it can get away with it, covers the screen, and we get the credits. And some whiplash as Tia Carrere sings us a love song.
That, I wrote, what is this closing credits song? Like, no shade to the song on its own, but that was a bizarre choice. It was, I thought I hit a button and went to the next movie on accident.
Wonderful movie. It's basically like a long episode of the TV series, but of the animated series, but it's still great. And good bad guy. Such good Joker laughs. Oh, yeah. Phenomenal script. Such a good movie. Classic. Everyone should watch it. Would recommend, absolutely. Especially to Batman fans.
This movie does kind of go under the radar because there's a decent chunk of people who don't really consider animation to be a form of entertainment they're interested in and don't give it enough of a viable chance. And a movie like
That's
this,
sad.
it is for kids in that it is PG, but this is a very mature movie. This script is not a child's script. If this was an episode, it would rank, I think, among the best episodes for the animated series, really.
Yeah, if it was one, sure.
If it was an episode, it would rank among the best.
I kind of have that in my mind, sort of, like when I think of all the best, like, Batman in the Animated Series episodes, this one stands out as one of the best episodes, even though it's a movie.
Originally, this movie was actually supposed to be what became an episode of the series called Trial, where it's one of the only episodes. There's very, very limited amount of episodes where the villains cross over with each other. But there's one where the villains take over Arkham Asylum and they put Batman on trial. Was the idea they were going to go with for this movie before they switched it and turned that into an episode later. And in Trial, they bring in a DA who is very anti-Batman to defend him.
I remember that episode.
It's an excellent episode. I appreciate them going with something like this for a lot of reasons. Among them, they made a movie that kids will have fun with. This is a story of like laundering, embezzlement, mafiosos, and connections with gangsters. Like, these are unnamed characters in a completely self-contained story.
Romance.
And they even kind of, even revealing the Joker's past and putting solidification to who he was is a risky move a lot of times.
Yeah.
I think it kind of was.
A lot of movies have done that, though.
Yeah, they have.
But knowing that, or hoping that they had several healthy long seasons of the animated series still ahead of them.